I'm Uncle Ron, and welcome to, my first solo shot at this Streamyard type thing. And so I figured, what the hey, you can just look at me for the next hour and we can have it, or next little bit, and have a conversation and whatever's on your mind on this hot, sticky Saturday afternoon here in the East Coast of the United States. It's just nasty. It's 100 degrees in the shade. And you can see the OG there. How you doing, buddy? Got to make sure that I don't click the right button. You can see. So we're going to try this for a bit, and I'm just going to field your questions for the next little bit, which I just said. It's hot. Went out this morning, had to go pick up something from the drugstore. Had to wait for the drugstore to actually open up the pharmacy part. I really am an old man when it comes to that sort of thing. And got it. And I think I've talked about this before. I can't really show it to you. But we kind of have a main drag. It's all a pedestrian mall. And brick holds in heat. And it only got down to 73 or 74. Alexa, what's the temperature? Alexa, what's the temperature?
Right now, it's 93 degrees Fahrenheit. Tonight, expect a low of 75 degrees. Have a good weekend.
You too.
I couldn't find any enabled video skills that can find that. Go to the Alexa app to manage your video skills and devices.
All right, just told her not YouTube. I said you too. Madam's speaker's kind of on the slow side this morning. So it's 93 without any humidity, and it's sticky humid. It's supposed to thunder later on. Oh my goodness. We've missed you. How are you? Glad to see you. Good to have you along, Dale. And so we're going to try this out. So no space show this week and no art to show you or anything like that. We've liked what we've seen. You've watched Al last night. He showed off some sports cards for almost 3.5 hours this morning. And Dave has played around with it. And Mr. Mike, Sports Time Machine, glad to know that, Dale. We've missed you. We really have missed you. Mr. Sports Time Machine, Mr. Mike has done some great streams using this instead of OPS or OBS. So figured I would just kind of play around with this for a while, bounce some ideas off you, and just kind of say hi. The regular season in my 82 baseball replay is over. The playoffs begin Monday. No, it's not. No, it's not. But fortunately, we can, cover up parts of your body as you're doing it. What was I saying before? I was rudely interrupted by the dice chucker. Playoffs begin Monday. Montreal will host Los Angeles in Game 1. So Monday at 7, Tuesday at noon, and Tuesday night at 7, Game 1 of the American League Championship Series. Baltimore and California from Anaheim. There. And so, speaking of Dave Gardner, we'll be taping tomorrow. I think we're taping yet another episode of Digital to Dice, our new podcast. If you haven't joined that, you can find that on Facebook, or you go to Dave's channel and he'll post those on YouTube as they go. Or if you want to listen to them in just the pure, unadulterated. No, you don't. Don't lie. Don't lie about that at all. A pure, unadulterated audio form, go to Spreaker. That's Spreaker.com. And the website is Digital2. As Dave puts in, that's the website. And so we'll be taping another one of those, I think, tomorrow. Probably after the end of golf, if my cable is actually going to work. And so we'll be doing that. So we got another one going up. We got playoffs coming up. I'm going to do an AFL game tomorrow. I haven't forgotten as the AFL swings in RSN. It is that Week 3 matchup between the Los Angeles Chargers and Dallas Texans. It's Hank Stram versus Sid Gilman. It's not Fitzsimmons, Cotton Davidson versus Jack Kemp. So that's what we got going on tomorrow before we got some baseball coming back for the next couple of weeks. So you can pretty much, if you watched the other night, you pretty much saw how we set it up. So you can go back and watch that. You can go back and watch Al's. You can go back and watch Mr. Gardner streams to see how that goes. But this will be our multi-person replacement for Hangouts on Air, which goes away in 2 weeks. Just so easy. We worked the daylights out of it the other night. We had 5 people on, and everything can screen. But for right now, it's just going to be me here. So what questions, concerns, comments I'm thinking of, because we're doing the podcast thing already, I really enjoy doing the slower chats, which is not a knock on what Dave and I are doing at all, because we're going to be talking to some designers and some players of games. But starting yet another YouTube channel just for the Ron Juckett Show. What would you like to see me do? I'd love to have content creators. I think that would be it. Whether you're writing someplace or whether you do videos on YouTube, promote some stuff. That was the original idea behind the show when I started it. The OG has been on and he survived. Dave Gardner has been on. Dave hasn't spoken to me since. Just absolutely terrible. Al's been on. Al needs to be on again. We've had ID on. Tony Whitehill's come on. But I'd like to kind of branch out to do more of that. You know, everyone's got a story to tell. And I think with this software being so easy to use and there's no download, that I'd like to, I think I would use this software to do that as opposed to making sure everything is all hunky-dory on Skype and all that. So give me your thoughts on that. I haven't watched any of the Open Championship. I don't even know who's ahead. I know that Tommy Fleetwood was there. I saw Lee Westwood's name was creeping up the leaderboard and Ricky Fowler. So I will watch tomorrow. But the cable wasn't working this morning, and it is now. So what would you like to talk about? We got the playoffs coming up, some AFL football, doing the 86 NFL season. That's going to start around Labor Day, which is really only 5 weeks away. Can you believe that? I am amazed at that. Let's see. So, and we'll be doing some more space stuff for these. Probably not today. I'd have to set it up. I was flying around in a flight simulator today. I know that someone was driving around an American Truck Simulator. I have a Euro Truck Simulator. What's wrong with Tiger? Don't read it. I can show it. Tiger's old. I think that's a lot of the problem, Dale, is that he's just not, he's not young. This is a course that they've never played at. Royal Portrush is in North Ireland. And I don't think his back is all that great. Augusta is a course that the more familiar with it you are, the better you're going to play it. And Tiger, I think, could contend there till he's 50. He's going to have a lot of trouble on courses he's not familiar with in green speeds to be competitive again than the rest of the majors. But he could easily wind up with 2 or 3 more Masters. Let's talk minor league hockey. ECHL is in that Glens Falls still. That's pretty good. We're too small of a market up here for minor league hockey, and I'm kind of disappointed about that. But the Worcester Ice Cats, and of course the best team in the AHL is in Laval. Go Habs, go! The OG loves America. I see that, you know, in the Discord, if you're playing a connected game, we see what you at least have playing, and so I've been seeing that by him. Have you bought any of the map packs yet, Devin? I have the Euro, and I have most of the Euro and some mods for that. And then maybe at some point you can sit and watch. I can actually will do that, and you can watch me drive. Because that's some... Oh! Okay. it's a good career building game. If you're not familiar with it, essentially you are, whether it's American Truck Simulator or, and right, oh, of course, and oh, they're all in OG's neighborhood. It's all the West Coast. It's air. If you're not familiar with it, you basically take on a career as a truck driver, and they're small versions of maps. I think for well, I'll just put this up on the screen. California was the base game, and I'm not sure if Arizona, Nevada, I think was part of the initial base too. Yeah, and they've done a great job on the details. So it's Washington, Oregon, California, Arizona, Utah, New Mexico, which gives lots and lots of places to drive. And that's right in the OG's neighborhood. So it's perfect for him. Those of us on the East Coast are going to have to wait. Yeah, Nevada. Do we have any pro teams up there? We have the Vermont Lake Monsters, which is a single short A or short season single A affiliate of the Oakland Athletics. We used to be the Vermont Expos, obviously because the Expos played in Montreal. And for the first few years after Montreal moved, or the Expos moved to Washington to become the Nationals, kind of, it's one of those small world type things. The Nats played here. Nats moved to Auburn, and Oakland swung over here. And so it's not the best arrangement in the world. I mean, we're 3,000 miles from the West Coast, and their first round draft picks are playing in Burlington, Vermont. As far as athletic, I mean, this is much more of an outdoorsy state, Dale, as opposed to team state. The university does not play football on an NCAA level; it's on a club level. We used to have a decent hockey program, but they don't teach offense anymore. The men's basketball team routinely contends to win our conference, the America East, but there really isn't. There's really not much competition, so it's like one team and UVM, whether it's Albany or Binghamton or the University of Maryland in Baltimore City, which was the first, of course, team to ever win the 116 game as a 16. So people ski up here, people bike up here, people run up here. We're the second largest marathon in New England outside of Boston, and it is pretty good size. It runs right past my front door or side door. So that's a good thing. People just I think this is one of the fittest states in the country, which is kind of cool. Although I can't cross country ski, I can't alpine ski, I can't get on a bike, and I certainly can't run. But there is a Dunkin' Donuts about half a block from here, and I know that one really well. So, OG, I'm not going back to American Truck Simulator. I haven't bought that one, and of course missed the Steam sale for the summer. But Christmas is coming, and I might pick it up then. You can actually drive on the keyboard, and I couldn't figure out a way to stream because I got to do it, with this mouse, and that just doesn't make the most for entertaining stream. And you see me crash into bridges, especially in the Europe. Devin, do you have the European version? I think I have all but one pack of the European version. In some of those countries, when you get onto ready for your interchange to get off the highway, and if you're staying on the highway, it goes down to one lane. And so the right lane branches off for your turn. And I don't necessarily, sometimes there's bridges involved. And trucks against bridges, don't go there. Streaming free might be difficult. I think you'd like the European version. It's a different line of trucks. And of course, if you drive in the UK, you are driving on the wrong side of the road. You're driving on the left-hand side. Bubba Husky, how are you, my friend? Oh, I like that. One of the cool things about this is that you can see people's avatars in great detail. I like that. Yeah, okay. Much smaller trucks. Okay. Cool. However, that modding community is built like all of Russia, all of Northern Africa, a ferry system to Brazil, and so you can drive in South America. And of course, there's unsupported maps in the American Truck Simulator that do all the states. And the good thing about the modding community for that game is, as the company that does it's out of Scandinavia, it's SCS Software, or maybe is that once a new territory is offered, it's cut off the maps. So you have to buy the new territory before the new map will work. And so the gameplay is endless. And essentially, you start renting a truck and driving around, eventually starting your own transportation company, and then you can drive to hundreds of different places. Oh, yes, they do. In fact, Microsoft is working on, for the first time in about 15 years, a new flight simulator, which is awesome. Actually, was flying in Flight Simulator 10 today. It initially will be part of, for Windows 10, which I guess is now the standard name for new Windows everything, and eventually ported over to the Xbox. When FSX came out, you couldn't get a computer to run the damn thing. It's been out so long that you can that I can get like 200 frames a second if I'm flying in the country. And that I can do because of autopilot. There's also X-Plane, which is rather pricey, and the autopilot is probably more realistic, and so I have a hard time with that. And they don't like laptops. It's the one I gave it a negative review on Steam, and I had people email me to tell me how much of a butthead I was. It really was amazing. You can't run it on a laptop, you fill in the swear word there. So really there. So yeah, if you have Steam, just look for Flight Simulator 10, and I think it's on sale for, it's usually about between 19 and 25 bucks. And they're well supported, and you can get Devin, you do any of that flight simming? I like the flight simming. The thing is that there just isn't much to do once you get in the air. I can kind of hand steer the planes when they're, and you don't want to see me land. It's kind of like watching me drive. If I get it at the airport, it's a good thing. The flight sim community is huge, like several thousand people. There are people who spend thousands of dollars on stuff for scenery, which I'm not sure why you need expensive scenery when you're flying over it at 40,000 feet. Bubba, I'm sure that VR has a lot to do with it. And the fact that the Xbox software and hardware is pretty similar to what you would find in most Windows 10 machines. Yeah, the physics, air combat's tough. Air combat is tough, and I know that's mostly what you play is that. Yeah, designing a game. I mean, at one point, Microsoft bought that from whoever created it originally and came out with all these versions. Like every 2 or 3 years, there'd be a new one. And I'd go buy it, and the wife would give me a hard time. I think FSX came out on like 5 or 6 DVDs. And then this was before Steam and all that. So pretty gosh darn cool, if you ask me. So, yeah, I'm not sure. This will be... I've seen the trailer, and of course it's jaw-dropping. But then again, when the game first came out, you could fly around and surprise OG that you didn't, because Seattle and Chicago, I think, were the 2 default cities. That's true in a lot of things, Bubba, and a lot of those games don't have it. X-Plane doesn't, and there's no seasons in X-Plane. You a software designer, Bubba? Is that what you do, besides being the world's biggest Tennessee fan? Anyway, the Microsoft Flight Simulator. Why not a full-on simulator? Oh, I don't need to say it. Well, to be honest, Lockheed Martin bought the code when Microsoft shut down their studio and turned it into a full motion simulator using the software. And so they train pilots, whatever fighters and bombers Lockheed Martin's has, to use it, and that's the system they use it on. Which is better for games? Well, Steam is not an operating system. Some games I buy on Steam, and some games I just buy, like the DK Sports isn't on Steam, but they all run on Windows. And as Bubba says, we deliver for you. Google's coming out with some virtual console type thing. I'm not sure what it is. I'm sure with the way that they communicate, it's going to be just as wonderful and lovely as what we got going on here with Hangouts. But that's why not a full-on. So they've turned it into a full-on simulator. And you can actually go through and watch videos of people who've become pilots because they flew. There was one video I watched a couple weeks ago. No, maybe it was this week. That the guy at that point had only done flight simulator. Someone either bought him or he bought himself some time at a full motion simulator that a trainer, and he landed the plane. But the Google thing, probably, I'm sure that the big tech companies such as Microsoft and Google saw what Steam was doing and wanted to package games through that. I know that the thing for the Microsoft game package, you'll pay X amount per month and be able to lease games, but you can buy them outright. So you get the chance to play, and then if you like, you can buy. But probably not something I would do. And Steam would be hella expensive if you did that with over 4,000 games. Problem is that Steam's return policy isn't very good. I went to return the X-Plane because I just couldn't do it. And like, nope, you used it too much. They only give you 2 hours of gameplay, and that's for a sim like that. You can't do that, for other things. I tried to return one of the versions of Franchise Hockey Mania 3. Like, nope, you used it over 2 hours. But I'm sure you guys got some pretty extensive Steam game list. Okay, I'm going to cover up myself. Just to see that, it would be smart to sell a simulator to people wanting to fly and people wanting to play a badass game, and probably sell the game to gamers and people. Yeah, absolutely. The concern when Microsoft initially announced that they were coming out with a new version was it going to be kind of arcadey or kind of a sim? Because as the OG says, you know how fussy the wargaming community is. You know how fussy the sports simming community is. That ain't nothing on the flight sim community. Oh my goodness. I'd get divorced. It'd be one thing to spend all that money on a model train set or something like that, and I'd probably do it. But no way in hell I'm going to spend thousands of dollars so I can have the hardware strong enough to run a 737. But there are lots of people who do. I think unless they're coming out with a new version of DX, I would think that it'd be both right out of the gate. The eye candy's pretty impressive from the trailer. And I think they've used third party to create the aircraft. I'm not sure if it's going to be backwards compatible. I mean, you can technically fly Flight Simulator 98 planes on FX10. As I said, I love my wife, and there are certain things I won't do, and that would be one of them. I have train sim. Are you into that too? I've yet to find one that I really like. I've streamed some of that. People do love their sim games, yes. On my other channel, on the one with my name, and it slowed down the processor so much that it wasn't running in real time. It was supposed to take me 75 minutes from New York to New Haven, and that was like an hour and a half. Like, God, we gotta be close. But Train Simulator, yeah, because that's one I can do and talk to you. That's another one I could supposedly do. If you go through and look, again, the Steam sale is a good way to do that. The base game comes with enough to keep you busy. That was Police Quest 5, Dave. Or when you hit the wrong button playing Leisure Suit Larry. Train Sim World might, depending on what you want to do. Train Sim World is more of a scenario based thing, OG. But Train Sim, whatever version they have, you just watch for the sales and watch for the routes. It depends on where you want to drive or do the trains. I've got the Los Angeles to San Diego route, and that can be fun. I've got the Acela route, so I can do Philly to New York and New York to New Haven. I really wish someone, hint, 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 if anyone from there is watching, I would beg, steal, and borrow for the complete Northeast Corridor route from Washington to Boston. Just to say that I did it. So, yeah, I mean, the train one is easy enough to use. There's also BVE or Open BVE if you're interested in if you're interested in more of the subway or Japanese train things. There's no you're park this thing within 10 feet, okay, or 5 meters. Good luck with that. So if you do a search for that, you can find that, and that's free. So you can get the train sim thing without doing that. I used to play Trains, TRAINZ or Z, and my wife would go to the mailbox. Why have you got a package from Australia? But that's also a processor hog, and again, people just kind of love the community, and if you ever say anything nasty about it, it turns into a whizzing contest. So lots of those. So any other sims that you guys are curious about? But OG, you might take the plunge and see if you like it. And depending on what part of the world you want to have a route in, you can find them. You can find them for sure. It was let me see. I was having trouble with Facebook last night. It wanted me to claim that someone tried to access your account. Okay. Twice. Okay. Please go and change your password. Fine. So I did that. I've got two-method authentication. It sends a message to my text phone. Yeah, if you just do a search, Dale, for Train Simulator, you can find the website for that. If you have Steam, do you have a Steam account, bud? Because that's going to be the easiest. Or, I mean, there are tons and tons and tons of videos on YouTube. And I'll show you the answer. So, yeah, just do a search for simulators on Steam, and you can find them. Yeah, no, I hear you. I hear you. Yes, and between the engines and the scenery and the cars, yeah, I mean, there's a reason it's $2,500 for the whole package. I hear you. At least the stuff for American Truck Simulator is relatively cheap. And for the Flight Simulator, I mean, they make planes. I mean, if you want to know, make sure. Oh yeah, because OG is a mod. So there you go. If you're interested in Train Simulator, and don't forget to hit the like button, guys. It helps me out a great deal. Paint job packs for $2. I painted my own set of trains once. That was fun. And trains with a Z or Z. But yes. But if I sat there and bought every simulator that I would ever want to play, I'd do nothing but do that. I've been looking at Farm Simulator because, it's something I can't do. And I've held off a couple times. I almost got it once in a Steam sale, but I held off. So whatever you can think of, there's some good tank simulators out there. Gosh, what was I watching? Because OG has a World of Warships account. So see, we're bad. They don't. Cool. It's one of those things that, yeah, absolutely. Well, they have a race car simulator. There's Assetto Corsa and iRacing and Project Cars and Forza, if you're into that sort of thing. And the truck simulator is a good representation. I'm not sure. I mean, I watch some of the videos on YouTube of people getting in the cars. How long you're actually going to sit there in a car and actually drive it around? Would you do the drive from Philly to New York and take the 3 hours to do it? I mean, I probably would. At some point, if you're really, really nice, I might try some Euro Truck Simulator for you guys. Probably would tape it and then just do it as a premiere. Because I don't think you could do videos, right? Dave will tell me if I'm wrong. You can't show videos on a full screen. Because that's how I would do it, would be that I would drive it and then narrate over it. Because that's just too much. But yeah, Farm Simulator, and I mean, different tractors, and you can grow different things. And I think there's some livestock involved. That's cool. That is very cool. Are you a fan of Big Rig Travels? And to answer my question about the videos, you can't. Okay, we'll look into that. Big Rig Travels is a truck driver. He lives in Illinois, grew up around San Antonio. He's on vacation right now. He's got a camera in the front of his truck, and you can sit there for hours and watch him literally drive across the country. I like it when he drives in the cities. It's a good way for me to actually travel without actually traveling. But the endless cornfields of the Midwest are kind of hard to sit there and watch. But it's all hooked up through his cell phone. And people pay for his streaming through Verizon. He must have some amazing plan. And that's what he does. And everything is stored on his site. So actually, when I was having a snack earlier before Dave and I got chatting, I was watching him drive through Denver back in the spring. So it was quite cool. And there's a pretty friendly and highly moderated live chat that goes along with those rides. You're going to watch me type again. But it's fascinating. He's been, I think, in all the lower 48 states at one point or another. And it's just kind of a cool dude. And just kind of an interesting way to spend a lunch hour. If you're into that sort of thing, if I'm not streaming. But especially in the wintertime when you're trapped in, and I'm trapped in a lot. So yeah, so check out, I'll show that one again. So if you're interested in that, he's got a lot of stuff there. Good photographer too. And he's just a down home guy. I'd love to pick his brain for a while. And he's got a merchandise store. And he loves coffee. We hear about that an awful lot. Don't ask him to sing. If you think I'm bad, he makes me sound like Ringo Starr. Alrighty, what else we want to talk about or more about this? I'm kind of liking how to do these for the chats with Ron or the Ask Uncle Ron things. Not sure how much I was telling Dave, I wasn't sure how much I would use this as a solo effort, but this has been fun. I've been able to show you what you guys have chatted with, and that's, I think, more fun that way. I mean, it's a hot Saturday afternoon, and 7 or 6 of you besides me are watching. That's great. Anything sports sim wise you want to ask? So there's the truck sim, there's a tank sim. There's some good first-person tank games out there. If you're into that sort of thing, there's some combat sims too. Oh, crap-o-matic! It's not War Thunder, although that is game. There's one. Devin, if you're still here, do you do any of those air-to-air combat sims? It's not. It's DCW, and I can't think of the name of it. And those videos are fun to watch too. It's a good group building activity. And you have, getting back to the airline, the plane simulator thing, the flight simulator, there are virtual airlines, Dale. You can actually, if you let's say your favorite airline is Delta, you can join a virtual Delta Airlines and work your way up the company, flying those little puddle jumpers all the way through. Never did World of Tanks. I've got World of Warships downloaded, but I haven't played it in forever. And War Thunders, I believe, is all air. And I think I would have a hard time doing air-to-air combat. And see, that's the thing. I mean, these people you can buy, as we talk about OG with the flight stick, you can buy rudder pedals, flight sticks, GPS things. It's amazing. It absolutely is amazing. War Thunder has added tanks and ships. Okay. I haven't played that in a while. I'm terrible at it. And when you realize that you're god awful at something, that's cool. Came out as flight only, but they got the full combined arms now. Once you realize that you are just terrible at something, and when you're playing with others, it's a cooperative game. World of Warships, I think it's 12. I think you're playing on a team with 12 others against a team of 12. And of course, you start with crappy ships. Anyway, I mean, you can be reported. You just feel bad. And when I played World of Warships, I was a torpedo magnet because I could change things on the screen so I could change my zoom view and all that and fire. But yeah, it was fun. It was intense, but I wasn't very good at it. I even did the 3-month premium, I think, for that. So yeah, so they have all sorts of things. Car simulator, I'm not sure if people would do that or not. As I see in the Discord, yes, after 8 hours, your body paint would fall off. Absolutely, for sure. There's a tabletop simulator too, and of course there's Vassal, which if you're into the OGs type gaming or board gaming in general, you can actually play there's modules for pretty much everything, and you can play the board games on the computer with there, and everyone is linked. You still do that, or Devin, are you pretty much still a solitaire gamer? Devin, by the way, is helping to design stuff for a war game. And if you've watched Chat with Al, we haven't done Chat with Al in a while. But if you've watched Chat with Al, he's talked about it. And I'm looking forward to it. Wargaming is something I'd love to do, but I'm terrible at it. Absolutely horrible. And I have some good ones too. But again, I'm not very good at it. All right. So what else do we want to talk about? Oh no. Okay. Okay. About 3 months ago. And of course, Vassal was designed so you could play Advanced Squad Leader online against other people. And Advanced Squad Leader is the it's the War and Peace, if you will, of wargaming, because the rules are thick and it's all very specific, and that's one of those things that it's like the half pregnant. You either love the game or you hate the game. And so they did it so people could play against each other online. I mean, I've done Dungeons and Dragons, and Dungeons and Dragons ain't got nothing on Advanced Squad Leader. There's Squad Leader, which is complex enough as it is. But let's say that you, because I know most of you are sports simmers, if you've done the SADV or Super Advanced and Strat Baseball or the APA Master Game, that is tiddlywinks or shoots and ladders compared to Advanced Squad Leader. So that's cool. All right. Anything else you guys want to talk about? I haven't had to mute anybody yet. That's awesome. I guess you can share stuff. As I said, if you've watched Sports Time Machine stuff the last couple of days, he's been able to play the PC version of Stratomatic on one side, and then have his dice rolls on his camera on the side. So there. There are, in any flight sim deal, there are 1 or 2 helicopters that come with it. I think the Robinson R22 comes with the base purchase of Flight Simulator. The military versions, of course, have military choppers. And I think there might be a Bell, and there's a couple helicopters. And I can't fly the choppers because you actually need the flight sticks for them. Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Like giving birth to an accountant. For sure. No, leave it open so you get some cool air. She's not coming in. She's not coming in. Door's been open all afternoon. She hasn't. I'm wearing shorts, which the cat, if you remember, hates. So, but yes, it is like as soon as I say that, I hear the jingle of the collar. Yeah, Dale, the basic flight sim is not expensive. And it's probably cheaper because they're working on a new one. But again, it can get quite expensive for you, because as the OG says, there's going to be something that you go, oh, you know what? I want the weather to be better. Okay, that'll cost you. Like, oh, I want better air traffic control. Oh, that'll cost you. Oh, I want to fly a real 737. Oh, that's really going to cost you. Oh. So, if you want to see him play some Advanced Squad Leader, that's the link to go to right there. But there are lots of people who do it, and more power to them. More power to them. The game that OG is designing, I think, is a bit simpler, but fun if you have any interest in military history. Of course, today, by the way, what your mind feels like after. Oh, okay. Yes. Is it like 20 minutes of watching Jello jiggle? I bet That's what I would think of. Today, by the way, I'm sure you know if you've watched television at all in the last week, is the 50th anniversary of the first moon landing. It's also my one of my great grandfather's birthdays. Yep, I knew that you had them. That's why I thought that. But and he was always proud of the fact. 60 seconds. Well, let's see what I can do here. Oh, it's Rick and oh, I can't show the. It's a Rick and Morty video, and it has naughty words. I'm sure it is funny. I'll have to watch later. Anyway, he was always very proud of the fact that they landed on the moon and walked on the moon on his birthday. He was a farmer from West Granville, New York. They had hundreds of acres. And they landed on the moon on his birthday, and he was proud of that. And so, always an easy way to remember. So, happy birthday wherever you are. All right, I think Sarah wants to figure out what we're going to order for dinner. Because it's 4 o'clock, and I'm starting to get hungry again. I've went through almost a full bottle of Glacier Cherry Gatorade Zero, and then I gotta probably fill this up with some water afterwards because of that. All right, so thanks for watching, guys. Hit that like if you would. And tomorrow we're going to do some football for you, probably in the 7 o'clock hour or so. So thanks for hanging with me. Glad to do this test for you again. I don't know if we're doing chat. It would be nice if we did some chat with Alan. We might even use this. But Dave Gardner, I would hope so. Go Bruins. There we go. Okay, and so until we talk again, I'm Ron Juckett. I'll talk to you the next time, and thanks for watching. Thank you, Dale. Glad you were okay, buddy.